Hello and namaste. Accuracy, balance, credibility. This is ABC News and I'm Pratibha Paudil in this ABC Discourse program. It is our commitment to investigate and present real and factual news. All the public related affairs will be our subject to deal with. It is our continuous effort to present exclusive and authentic news and views. Today we are going to have a very good conversation with Mr. Hu Wei, focusing the second China-South Asian Literature Forum 2019. Mr. Hu Wei is Chinese-English entrepreneur and a staff member of International Liaison Department of China Writers Association. He has been in Nepal to participate the program organized by Nepal Academy. I would like to warmly welcome you in ABC Discourse program.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be your beautiful country.
At first, I would like to share your experience on the second China-South Asia Literature Forum 2019 organized by Nepal Academy.
Well, from my perspective, it's a very well organized, very high quality forum of a lot of discussions of cultural interaction. Actually, as you know, this forum was co-founded by the literature organs of China, Nepal, and other South Asian countries 2 years ago. And the first session of forum was held in Chengdu of Sichuan province in China in 2017. After that forum, the Honorable Chancellor of Nepal Academy, Mr. Ganga Prasad Uberedi, mentioned that on behalf of Nepal Academy, he would like to host the second forum. And we continued our discussion later on, and finally, this forum is hosted successfully here in Kathmandu at its best season. So, as far as I know, everyone, including Chinese writers and Bangladesh and writers from Bangladesh, Pakistan, as well as a local writer from Nepal, are very satisfied with the atmosphere and exchange of information.
Okay. Please elaborate the main objective of this forum.
The main objective of this forum is to enhance the literature exchange and cultural communication between China and its South Asian neighbors. We have established long-lasting friendship since prehistoric time.
Since 1955, I think, 80.
Yeah, but in Asian history time, so we have already carried out the cultural exchange as well as the trade relationship. So I think both the scholars and the writers think it is time for us to re-establish this kind of relationship in the modern era, in the background of modernization and globalization, to reform our cultural identity. So that's the background of how this forum was established.
And this forum is to promote the trans-Himalayan culture and literature connectivity. What are the main concepts of this connectivity? How is it possible?
Trans-Himalaya is a concept mentioned by the scholars of both South Asia and China, especially the scholars of Yunnan province of China. Many scholars of Yunnan province stated that it's important to clarify this concept, to review this kind of relationship or bond between the people of this area, which was in a sense ignored by common people. They have in their papers revealed that since hundreds of years ago, people have already started to carry out this kind of cross-border trade or literature communication or pilgrimage, like like Xuanzang and Faxian along these different lines. So it's important for us to inherit this culture, inherit this kind of culture heritage today.
We would like to know the main highlights of first South Asian Literature Forum 2018 and its department.
In Chengdu, in November 2017 in Chengdu, we have invited the writers from Nepal, Pakistan, and India and Sri Lanka. And all of these countries, but India have finally been represented on this forum. And the writers on this forum, almost everyone have expressed their desire of attending and continuous anticipation of this kind of platform of cross-cultural communication. And in their 3 days of discussions, they have exchanged their ideas about the literature exchange, as well as the cultural diversity of this area. And besides, the foreign guests also visited local historical sites in Chengdu, including the former residence of famous Chinese poet Du Fu. Chengdu is a famous city of rich history and culture. So the foreign writers have expressed their appreciation to the host China Writers Association, as well as their hope that this platform could be well developed in the future.
How do you take Nepal's participation in this forum?
Nepal, from the very beginning, Nepal Academy is one of the important co-founders of this forum. And Honorable Chancellor Mr. Ganga Prasad Upredi, he's an old friend of Chinese literature circles. I have met him several times, either in China or in Nepal. He's a real gentleman, he's very nice, and he's an outstanding scholar. He has a very insighted vision about the development of the friendship between Nepal and China. And he totally agreed with our idea of establishing such a forum. So under his leadership, Nepal Academy has successfully organized and prepared this forum in Kathmandu. So Nepal Academy's participation in the first forum and all of the efforts in preparing, organizing, inviting, and arranging the agenda is very complicated. It's very complicated. It takes a lot of efforts and time, but they have done a very good job. So Nepal Academy is a very important force in organizing this activity. It will be totally different without them.
President Xi Jinping has recently visited our country, Nepal. We would like to know how would this visit help maintain cultural relationship between our country, Nepal, and China.
President Xi Jinping's visit to Nepal is the highlighted news, very important news, recently in Chinese media, including the most influential national newspaper, the People's Daily. Xi Jinping's article has been translated into Nepalese and published in local Nepalese newspaper and in Chinese media. From this article, local Chinese people knew a lot about the past as well as the future, about the friendship between our two sides. Most importantly, President Xi Jinping emphasized the importance of the connectivity between the peoples of the two sides in the ways of literature and culture. So it's important to realize people-to-people ties through the cooperation and communication between medias, between groups of youngs and females and volunteers, as well as the literature organizations like China Writer Association, Nepal Academy. Actually, before this year, we both have organized a lot of rounds of mutual visits. So that means Nepal Academy will send a delegation of several scholars to visit China, and China's Writer Association will send another delegation of Chinese writers to visit Nepal. So it has been very efficient in providing opportunity for the writers of both countries to experience local culture, as well as to discuss with their counterparts of each other's countries. So I think this kind of cooperation will be enhanced and promoted in the future, including other fields like arts, like stage dramas and music and dances. These kind of things will efficiently shorten the distance between the hearts of our two peoples. Moreover, Honorable Chancellor already has mentioned at different occasions about his idea of translating literature works, especially this year when he attends the Conference of Asian Civilizations in Beijing. When I met him in Beijing, he also mentioned his idea again, and through the Embassy of Nepal, he gave us a book of the collection of Nepalese poetry, and we are supposed to apply for a budget from the central government of China for translating it. Actually, several years ago, based on the initiative of the Nepalese ambassador then, the Writers Publishing House, under the supervision of China Writers Association, has already translated the famous epic Mudan Madan from Nepalese into Chinese and published it. I think that's an important fruit of the cultural exchange between the two sides. As long as the development of our cultural cooperation after President Xi Jinping's visit, I'm sure this kind of fruits and cooperation will be more and more.
Belt and Road Initiative BRI is a big and strategic project. We would like to know how it could connect the countries for the development.
BRI, or Belt and Road Initiative, is about connectivity and circulation. It can be regarded as the communication of information, the exchange of ideas, and the circulation of goods, labor, services, as well as the connectivity between peoples. In terms of our bilateral relationship, it's important to make the publicity understand that we are not ourselves, but we are the successors of a part of long-lasting friendship since ancient times, started from Shenzhen and Faxian and Arnico, and a lot of successors, a lot of ancestors. Today is in the background of globalization. Every ordinary individuality in China and Nepal deserves a better life. And I'm sure China's development will provide more opportunities for Nepal. So in terms of BRI, I think it will provide a lot of new programs and new opportunities for Nepal's development, like the discussion of industrial zones and the projects like railroad and new entry points along our borders, as well as the development of infrastructure of Nepal. All of these will become the the fundamental motivation of the future development of Nepal's economy. And I think, based on our long-lasting friendship, this kind of relationship and development will benefit our two sides. And that's the new page we will write for our long-lasting friendship.
China is a developed country. It is very big in comparison to our country Nepal. It is 66 times bigger than Nepal. And it has done lots of progress in each and every sectors of development within a very short period of time, not more than 2 decades. For the development, 2 decades is very short period. And how it is possible to make such a drastic change in such a short period of time?
Actually, I think it's necessary to clarify that China is still a developing country. As a vast country, the imbalance of development is obvious in China. You can still find people in poverty, and you can find big metropolises like Beijing and Shanghai. So now Chinese government is trying to narrow this kind of gap by carrying out a series of policies of eliminating poverty. Secondly, it is necessary to point out that the Chinese development starting from 1949, the founding of People's Republic of China. So it's a long process of 7 decades. We just started from a country with 0 basis of industry. In 1949, the People's Republic of China couldn't barely produce a vehicle or mobile or a car, or even it's hard to produce a very strong nail. So totally 0 basis of industrialization. We just step by step, starting from 0, step by step. We first learned a lot from the policy of USSR to establish the basic foundation of industrial development by partly sacrificing the interests of the peasants. They have sacrificed a lot for development of this country. In China, and the CPC, the Communist Party of China, highlighted the development of heavy industry first, and then in 1970s and 1980s, the government decided to open the gate, and the so-called opening up and reform, so that China could get some kind of investment from foreign side. So it's just a kind of accumulation, step by step and day after day. It's based on the sacrificing of the ordinary Chinese people and the consistency of the policy of central government. The Chinese government has made some mistakes because of being inexperienced in developing industrialization and modernization in such a big country, which is unparalleled in human beings' history. Luckily, we finally done a quite good job. So I think China's development has provided another kind of possibility for all developing countries in this world, that we can achieve a lot of things by modernization based on our struggles. And I think that's the basic objective of the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative. That China would like to share with everyone our experience of development and to establish the community of shared future of all humankind.
We are very thankful for your participation in this ABC Discourse program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we have come to the end of this discourse program. I will come with other interesting facts and information on the same day, same time, same channel. Keep watching ABC News. Namaste, goodbye, have a good time. Thank you.